7 o'clock, and this meeting is called to order. We will have an invocation by Councilwoman AG from District 7. Would you please join us?
Lord, as we gather today at this meeting, we ask that you will be in our midst. Help us make the right decision that will be pleasing to you. Help us to be able to discuss the matters at hand in a reasonable way and to be willing to give up having our own way. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you call the roll, please?
Adams.
Here.
Jones. Here. Sabrati.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Brownlee.
Here.
Trojansky.
Here.
Agee. Here. Albers.
Here. There is no addendum this evening, but we do have minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meetings held on November 19th, December 3rd, and December 17th, 2014, as well as January 7th, 2015.
So moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Adams. Jones.
Yes.
Sabrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Present.
Trojansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Do we have communications this evening?
Yes, from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, notice to the city that the EPA has received an application for and has begun to consider whether to issue or deny a Clean Water Act Section 401 water quality certification for a project to create a retail development in the village of Orange, which may lower the water quality of the Chagrin River. I don't know why they sent this, but it's an official notice I had to report.
Thank you. There's only one committee report, and that is actually for new committee assignments, and I would appreciate a motion to approve the 2015 committee assignments for the members of council.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Adams.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Sabrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Present.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Trojansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Department reports. Let's see who's here. Law Department, Mr. No?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okey-doke. Police Department, Chief Papalarchi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief Kevin-Lunas is not here right now as the, so you all know, the canopy over at Prime Station's gas station at Lee Road and Mayplace Boulevard just collapsed. So the fire department is out there. Apparently there's some people underneath releasing vehicles. So he's over there. He said he will be in attendance at the meeting later, but that's where he's at now. I guess that could be part of my report as well. Calls for service for the month of January for the police department. Actually, total calls year to date is 1,869. As many of you probably know, we had a homicide at the R-Bar on Warrensville Center Road over the weekend. The police department continues to investigate that killing. The detective bureau has been working diligently, interviewing people and trying to get some leads to solve that. If anyone does have information or anything that or was witness to that or knows anything about it, please call the police department at 216-662-1234. The snow parking ban is in effect, obviously with inclement weather. The roads are a hassle, the sidewalks as well, as they're not always shoveled and cleaned the way they should be. Please be aware of people walking in the street. They don't always wear the brightest clothes, but they really don't have anywhere else to go with the depth of the snow on the sidewalks. So just as we drive carefully, be cautious as we move forward. And with that, I end my report.
Thank you, Chief. Human Services Department, Mrs. Bopat.
Thank you, Madam President. We talked in caucus about the funds being raised, and we're in the neighborhood of $24,000 now in funds. And as I look around in the audience, I just wanted to mention we received a donation from Mr. Arnold back here, from Mr. Gabeline, from Tanya Black. The Friends of the Maple Heights Library, Andrew sent a nice check of $300 to us to help us. So Mr. Melling also shook his wallet out in the moths came out. So as well as many of City Council have donated, and Jim Lowe back there from my department also made a considerable donation. So we thank all of you, and again, we're continuing those efforts. It's very apropos that today is February 4th, and it's Rosa Parks Day in Maple Heights, and as we begin February and Black History Month, I want to let everyone know that here at the Senior Center on actually tomorrow we'll be showing the movie 42, the Jackie Robinson story, and then on February 12th we'll be showing 12 Years a Slave, and on Thursday, February 26th, we'll be showing Lee Daniels, the Butler. So anyone in the community can come in to see that. It is in the morning. We usually start them around 9:45, so feel free to stop by. A reminder also that income tax preparation continues for seniors and low-income individuals in the community. Their appointments are here on Mondays from 9 o'clock until 3. We are booking already to March 16th, so if you need an appointment, please call very soon so you don't miss out. The Cleveland Clinic, the Marymount and South Point, we have a really good relationship with them. There will be an oncologist here at 10:30 on February 10th talking about cancer, signs of cancer, how to prevent it, things like that. And on February 24th, understanding memory loss, and that's the basics of memory loss. Those are sponsored by Marymount Hospital, South Point, and our department in cooperation with all of them. And since Chief Papalarczyk mentioned the fire chief, I will also mention the finance director, who is not here today due to illness. So that's why she's not here. Thank you, and a report.
Thank you very much. Now we move to our citizens' residents' comments. If you'd like to step up to the podium, give us your name and your address, and tell us what we'd like to hear, what you'd like us to hear.
Good evening. I'm Gerald Atwood. And,
You have to speak into the mic. There you go.
I'm Gerald Atwood, and I'm the owner of our bar at 5120 Warrensville Center Road. And I just wanted to come and not take too much of your time, but just address the incident that occurred this past weekend. First of all, our prayers and concern is out to the families of the gentleman that was killed. But I did want to address you guys and just let you know our efforts haven't changed from the day that we opened as far as what we promised planning and zoning, as well as our councilmen, what we would do to make sure that these incidents are few and far between in terms of our control. So we had promised that we'd have security fitted with security cameras inside and outside the building. We promised that we would have a older crowd, so our age bracket is 25 and up to enter our establishment, and we also promised that we would have a security team, which we did have a security team on site. The individuals were not patrons of the bar. The incident happened outside of the bar in the parking lot, but we've been cooperating with the Maple Police, all the detectives and all the crime scene guys that were over there in terms of trying to get to the bottom of who was responsible for it. So the footage of the incident from our security cameras was key in terms of the investigation. I was able to capture a lot of the images of what went on out there. But I did want to come and just I see some familiar faces from the 6 or 7 months that we went through planning and zoning to get approved. But we've had few and far between incidents, nothing to this severity at all. Anytime there is an incident, when Maple comes, we welcome them, whether it's a routine check of the parking lot. I usually go out personally and introduce myself, and we don't, we're not trying to, be standoffish with the Maple, being there in our establishment, whether it's inside or outside the parking lot. So, anything they need from me personally, my contact information is on file at the, at the police department. Anything that's needed, now and in the future, we're welcome. We definitely want to help because we're trying to be there, long lasting. We're not trying to, have it look like an eyesore for the establishment to do business. So, I just wanted to come by and just, introduce myself, kind of let you know our perspective on the incident. But just to be clear, that incident, while it was unfortunate, didn't occur inside of our bar, and those were not patrons of our bar. It was something that happened in the parking lot, and it's unfortunate, and like I said, our prayers and thoughts go out with the families. But I did want to kind of let everybody know that we have intact what we promised you guys that we would do in order to operate and be successful and not be kind of an eyesore in the community. So I just wanted to address that point.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Go.
Gerald Arnold, 20709 Bowling Green Road is my address. I've got a comment. I don't criticize you, but I will if you do something that I don't agree with. And I did not agree with the transfer of the money from the solid waste fund to the general fund. It was surplus money. It really is an additional tax. So you really took tax money and took it and put it in the general fund, and that's not when you collected it. That's not what you told people it was for. You collected it under the guise of solid waste. If there was a surplus, really that money should have been returned back to the resident or lower the fee. Because if it doesn't cost $15, you really shouldn't charge us more than $15. If it costs $12, charge what it costs. But you shouldn't be generating surplus and then to take it and move it somewhere else. I didn't appreciate it. I also asked, why only did you look at the trash fund? The city has a lot of different funds, and was the same analysis that was performed for the trash fund done on all the other funds? So I find it hard to believe that the solid waste fund was the only fund that supposedly had transfers to and from the general fund that weren't paid back. There's other funds. I would suggest the Finance Committee undertake such an analysis. Look at every single fund, do the same analysis that was done for the trash fund over the same period of time and the same methodology for that analysis, and see if there's other funds that owe the general fund money that you can support. It was really interesting that it was really split, that the several people in the council did not vote for it, and they didn't agree with it. Apparently that's why they didn't vote for it. I didn't agree with it either. I think there should have been some more discussion on it before something like that was done. But I think the analysis needs to be done. If you're going to do it, pick one, do it for all of them, and see what you get. Also, on the subject of finances, I know the finance director is not here, so we'll probably have to wait for an update, but what is the analysis, the status of our fiscal stability with the state? I know we were in fiscal watch or fiscal emergency. I don't know where we are. I don't know what status we are. I know we were to submit a plan to the state. Never heard anything back if it was accepted, if it was rejected. Did we have to resubmit it? Where does that stand? Is that ever going to be shared with the residents on the website? And where do we stand with the state? Are we going to step in and change our status? Or are we okay, or what? And then we don't know. So an update would be a good idea.
Mr. Arnold, we are constantly being audited by the state. They are here almost every week. And we are still in fiscal watch. And the status has not changed, at least as far as we have been informed. But the state continues to monitor us very consistently. Almost every week they're here, 1-2 days, monitoring and auditing, basically.
And the last thing is just an idea. And you can take it or leave it or think about it. Summer's coming up, and we know that there's a lot of youth in the city. Are we thinking about, or should we think about, having a forum with our young people in the police department, like they've done in other cities, and to let our residents know something is being considered, and it might even prevent a confrontation. It might even prevent something from happening. I know that they've had those similar meetings in other communities around here even, and it probably would be something to think about, that have it in conjunction with our school system. I don't know if they want to cooperate or not, who knows, but if they did, then it would be something that we could invite our young people to, so that they begin a dialogue with the police department and as you know, as it gets warmer, and that's just, hopefully it's just around the corner, it doesn't look like it tonight, but it's coming. The spring's coming, and as you know, that increases the number of police calls, the number of people out later in the evenings, and so maybe that would be a good thing for our residents as well as our young people to have some type of seminar, some type of workshop, some type of interaction with the police department to get to know them.
To the chair. Madam Chair. May I?
Yes, Captain. Please do.
May I respond to Mr. Arnold?
Go ahead.
Just want to let you know, Mr. Arnold, that what you're suggesting is already in the process. Myself, Councilman Jackson, a number of the other people, along with school officials, have already discussed this. It's already in the works, and we're working towards that end. Probably somewhere in the area of March is what we anticipate. There's some groundwork we want to do before we actually move forward with it, and it will involve the senior class for the Maple Heights school system.
And invite the residents too, if possible.
The form that we're discussing right now, at least, is kind of a form with the kids and the officers, and is very, very basic, ground level right now. But we'll certainly consider that part of it.
Thanks.
Moving on to the legislation.
Resolution number 2015-01 as amended, a resolution publicly censuring and admonishing Councilmember Bill Brownlee for conduct unbecoming a member of the council of the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll to suspend, please.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Safardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
No.
Turjansky?
Yes.
May I have a motion for adoption, please?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Go ahead, Councilman Brownlee.
while we know that we've had differences of opinions and opinions regarding how business ought to be conducted, not just the business itself, I see no specific examples given here as to the proposed disrespectful or inhibitive actions that were taken by a member of this council. Seems that in order to take such a measure as censure, that specific violations should be quoted in here instead of ambiguous claims. Therefore, I would suggest standing against such ambiguous legislation.
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Agee?
I have received numerous phone calls from constituents that comes to council meeting, and they have talked about Councilman Brownlee, disrupting the meetings and how dysfunctional we are.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Jackson?
is there any type of, I want to use the word punishment associated with this censure?
No. Any other discussion?
Madam President,
Councilman Adams?
I've had phone calls also from my district, and I ran into people, and they were speaking about the conduct of Councilman Brownlee and the disruption of the meetings, and they even asked me about a recall, and I said, I don't think we're nowhere near a recall. So I think all that's been here knows what happened. We tried to handle this in a manner where it wasn't public and we wasn't able, we couldn't do it. So that's why it's legislation.
Madam Chair?
Councilwoman?
And to the audience, basically with what Mr. Brownlee was stating about having proof. Proof is in all of the YouTube videos that are on the net in all of our council meetings for public viewing.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Brownlee?
I believe that Councilman Stefarati attempted to gain the floor. Since I've already had it, I'd
for him to go first.
Madam Chair, thank you, Mr. Brownlee.
Go ahead, Mr. Separati.
Thank you. I would just like to state on the record that I believe by passing this legislation that there will be another lawsuit filed. I'm not sure of that, not positive, but given the track record of lawsuits filing around, I think it'll probably happen. And I think we'll be spending more taxpayers' money on lawyers' fees, and I don't agree with that. I also don't agree with some of the actions Mr. Brownlee has done, but if council wants to go ahead and do that, that's their choice. Thank you.
As we said, in answer to a question, there is no penalty. There's just perhaps a statement saying that we are not happy with the conduct, and we would appreciate a review of a little more professional attitude, bringing all of this to council. So this is just a public censor, just a comment. No penalty whatsoever. If there's no further discussion, I'd like to... Councilman Brownlee, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. On January 30th, a memo was sent out to all of council, and within this memo from the council president, it was stated that council has been requested to become more proficient with the various publications and Robert's rules specifically. If there is sufficient interest, the suggestion would be to locate an outside resource to guide the council through the basic process. I would ask council, considering that there is a consensus that we need to be more proficient with the rules, if council is certain that they're abiding by Robert's rules and taking this action right now. And if not, then I would caution against it, because to use the rules when you don't understand them is not wise.
May I ask our council to comment on that?
Madam Chair, this is dictated by council's rules.
Correct.
This is action amongst council members.
Correct.
This office treats council as a whole and advises council as a whole. And when they divide into pieces and parts, we don't take sides. So if you would like to pass this matter and seek independent legal advice, both sides can do that, but we cannot be independent since we represent this body as a whole.
Clearly understood. Can we call the roll for adoption, please?
Yes. Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Separati?
No.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
No.
Trajanski?
Yes.
Motion passed. Legislation passed with 5 votes. Okay. Resolution number 2015-02, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a demolition program agreement with the Carver County Department of Development for participation in the county's demolition program in the city of Maple Heights in 2015 and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its second reading.
Ordinance number 2015-05, an ordinance amending section 148602B of the codified ordinances regarding obtaining a rental registration license in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance is on a first reading.
Resolution number 2015-06, a resolution authorizing the city of Maple Heights to accept the title to 2 vacant parcels of land on Schreiber Road for the land bank in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Councilman Adams?
I'd like to be put as a co-sponsor.
Okay, duly noted. Will you call the roll to suspend the rules, please?
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Safari.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
No.
Turjansky.
Yes.
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Call the roll for adoption, please.
A.G.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Safari.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Passed by the vote 7-0.
Would you turn to your expenditures over $1,000? That would be 2015-09 through 2015-12. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
To call the roll, please.
A.G.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Safari.
Present.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Present.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, council.